At the time of creating this video, there is no constant electricity in Nigeria, but there is a 21 years old in Nigeria that never runs out of electric. This guy right here is creating electricity just from stone, and that is why I'm here today, so that he can show me some of the work he have done and what he is planning to do with more of this. Tolani is a native of Ekiti State, Nigeria, and he claimed to be the second person to discover electricity in Nigeria, but this time not from a dam, but a stone.
He's trying to be a number 2 person that we took light from stone. You know, we have already found one before. Okay. That one took it from Kanji Dam, from inside water, and he want to be inside the record. He want to be the number 2. Took his own from stone.
I was filming a story somewhere in Ekiti State when this lady informed me there is somebody in the next town that generates electricity from stone.
Somebody that is generating light from rocks.
He generates lights
from
rocks in that town.
Electric
from
to
rock.
Power his house.
For me, it would be difficult to believe this if I didn't see for myself, so I went to the next town to look for him. My goal is to meet this guy and see the electricity. I also want to have some word with him to find out how he discovered this stone. I also want to know if they are special stone that generate electricity, or he can make any stone generate electricity. So I traveled to the town.
You are the person, right?
Yes.
Your name is what?
Oladeja.
Okay. They call you Tolani
Danger.
Tolani Danger.
Yes.
What is this danger? Is it because you do things that people cannot do? Is that why they put danger in your name?
We feel that if my danger.
He told me he couldn't communicate in English, and when I asked why, they said he didn't go to school. I became even surprised to know that this guy did not go to technical school, meaning that none of this talent is coming from education. So how did he discover this stone, and how was he able to generate electricity from this stone?
This is the spot now where the light is coming from, and then this is where you connect the wire. Okay. So is there some things he can show us now that we can plug to see if the electricity is there?
The light is on. Let's go inside.
And to my surprise, the electricity was real. In their house, he was able to connect electric bulbs all over the house, and inside his room, which is where he practiced this talent, he decorated it with a lot of his handwork. Inside his room, he connected many things, including CD players, speakers, and many more.
I take a look at this now, look at the lights, look at all these things, like everything is connected right here.
And all this power is being generated from stone.
When he found the stone, how did he know that this stone can generate electricity?
I don't know that one. He's the only one that can answer that question. It is given by him from God.
Okay, God told him that this stone, something is there.
Yes.
And then he brought it home.
Yes.
While in the room, I found another stone which he's currently working on, and according to him, he's planning to generate electricity that will power fridge, television, electric iron, and many more.
He said he wants to use the other stone to do another one. Okay. That one will be carrying freezer, television, fan, electric iron, and so on and so forth like that.
Okay, did he study this in school?
He did not go to school, any school. God just gave it to me.
This guy is doing this from pure talent. He didn't study this in the school, and he is doing this right in his house. I'm curious to know what he can even do if he has formal education or if we have support. This is incredible. I don't think you have heard that anybody's generating electricity from a stone just like this. How is he even able to find out that this stone has electricity in it? Let's just ask him to know more. Do you think this particular stone that you use to do this thing is only found in Ekiti State, or you can find it in any other place in Nigeria?
If you can find it anywhere in Nigeria.
I asked him how many kilowatts he's generating from this stone, and I wasn't surprised he didn't know anything about that. When I asked him what he thinks is causing the electricity inside this stone, he didn't know about that either. Tolani Danger has become very popular in his community for his invention, and not only is he very popular, he has become a source of inspiration for other school children. After spending some time checking out his invention, here is my own assessment. Remember, I'm not trying to talk down on anybody. This is my own assessment, meaning that this is what I think, and it doesn't count. I tried all my best to ask some questions that could give us clue of how this thing started and how he was able to find out that there is electricity in this stone. But every time I try, I got no answer. The only answer he told me is that it is God. All my questions were left unanswered, even the most simple ones that you don't need any degree to answer. None of them were answered, making it more difficult to do more research on this topic. When I went back, I did more research on this topic, and after my research, I found out that it's impossible for this stone to generate electricity, meaning that whatever this guy is doing, there is more to it than what he's showing us. Let me repeat this again. I am not talking down on his talent. I believe that what he's doing is very amazing, and I'll be the happiest person in the world if this is true. I believe that this stone which is generating this electricity, which is buried underground, something else was buried with it, and this could be a lithium battery. Meaning that if you remove this stone from the ground, there will still be electricity in the house because the electricity is being generated by the lithium battery. But I'll be happy if what I'm saying right now is false. I was also told he once generated electricity from a fish, and that is very interesting, but I also feel like if you are able to do all these things, you should know the cause of this electricity, both the one from the fish and the one from the stone. But all the questions I asked were left unanswered. Poor education were to blame. Talking about poor education, I asked him if he would like to forward his education. This is what he said. If somebody now want to sponsor you to go to school to do electrical engineering or anything, are you willing to further to learn more about it?
tó fẹ́ràn ẹ lọ sí school pé kò lè fọ́dà kò lè lọ sí school lè ní lọ síwájú sí nínú electrical engineering wọ́n ní ṣe ready láti lọ ṣe wà lọ.
mi ò ní yẹ lọ torí pé àyàfi kí n bá wà ní ibi kí màá máa ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn torí pé Ọlọ́run fún mi lọ́pọ̀lọ́ ìwé.
He say he won't be able to go, so unless if he dey where he can be able to find the stone and to do the work, because this one is more than it's more than technical school now. This knowledge to me.
Okay. So he's not willing to further
to any education, but anybody that wants to help him should try to buy tools for him.
Okay. Does he know?
Provide financial support very well for him.
Okay. Does he know the tools that he needs?
Bó ṣe mọ àwọn iṣẹ́ tó lè lò tó máa lò tó nílò láti fi iṣẹ́ yẹn lè máa lọ.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n.
He knows.
He knows the tools. Okay. Like if he is giving the tools the support, how many villages or how many communities, how many towns does he think he can cover using just tools?
báyọ̀ òye pé ìwé ìpárọ̀ bí hòtẹ́ẹ̀lì bẹ́ẹ̀ àti ilé iṣẹ́ ilé ìwé.
So you can't contain the whole community, but hotel, school, houses, so you can do it for them.
Okay, he's sure that he can put electric in hotels, schools,
Yes,
houses,
yes.
just using stone.
Yes.
Okay. So if somebody wants to support him now, what he really needs is financial support and tools, so that he can be able to.
Ẹ̀kọ́ yẹn bá sì wà fẹ́ràn ọlọ́ba kínú gẹ́gẹ́ kọ̀ fẹ́ bá àkínú kọ̀ fẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ kọ̀ sọ.
mo ní ìdí ìrànlọ́wọ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà pé bí wọ́n ṣàlùkù pé mi tiẹ̀ ní iṣẹ́.
He say he just wants Nigerians to help him
Okay.
to achieve his aim
Okay.
with whatever they can.
That will be the end of this video. Please tell me in the comment section what you think. Do you think he's actually generating electricity from this stone? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a like, and if you want to watch more videos like this.
Okay. Good day, everyone. This is Dad Settle, the most handsome, yakable, Africanicious, adrenaline pumping, and physical husband. And as usual, every Sunday we come on air to bring some topical issues for us to discuss and to discover a lot that is going on in Africa. This particular story that you are seeing here, I saw it on one of the YouTube channel, and I thought is something that is commendable that we need to talk about. But before we start delving into it, I have about 2 comments already in, but let me just quickly state this. I personally feel that Africans should somehow kind of take it slow. Whenever African youths are discovering new things, new technological advancement stuffs, we need to ensure that we safeguard those youths that are discovering these new areas of technology, and whatever areas of technology we are just discovering, we need to come around this young chap, guide them properly, and help them to harness their talent so that we can grow it from just the crude nature into the advanced level. Because if we fail to do so, the next thing you might be seeing this guy on his bus to Toronto, because that is what has actually happened. I've seen a lot of talent, raw talent from Africa, especially Nigeria, where I belong. And while they were just in their crude state, showcasing what they discovered, only for me to discover that the government, the rich people in Africa, they're not paying attention to them. And before we could spell Jack Robinson, a white guy, or no, sorry for using that word, Caucasian, or the Western people, people from the Western world comes in and pick this raw talent out of our nose. Do you know what that means? They literally become the property of another continent, helping to advance the development that would have come to Mother Africa. So it's that time Africans woke up to say, you know what, this talent we are discovering, number one, we'll safeguard the talent, because a young boy like this that did not go to the four walls of the school should have been properly protected. In short, they should turn him to, if they verify that his discoveries are genuine and the likes, they should turn him to a property of the nation. These are the people that should be well guarded and guided on how to go about bringing the race out of the poverty ratio. When I'm talking of poverty, I'm not talking of financial poverty. I'm talking about the poverty of underproduction and underutilization of talent and skills. Okay, so let me start with the first person to comment here. It says, Practical Realist, wow, lovely. I love this name. Says Africa is the next nation on the list to be developed by the empire, leaving America by the wayside as a result. The downside is that Africa will be subjected to suffer the same inevitable fate. Okay, maybe what you mean by this is that what goes up must surely come down. Okay, let Africa go up at least for once, for once after a long break, and let's see whether Africa will go down. But I know that we can actually go up and influence the world positively, and we look forward to that period. Okay, Sam, another comment from Sam Oldia. Oldia says, why will he tell you? Okay, I guess Oldia was looking at the young guy that the YouTuber that did this video was was trying to phantom. Okay, how can they be getting electricity from the stone? Anyway, he was trying to be sure that the information that the guy is putting across was correct. But I think Sam Oldia was saying that there is no way that the young boy will tell him everything about his invention. I seem to agree with you, because actually, when people are spending a sleepless night trying to discover their gifts and talents, they need some level of privacy. They need to protect some information before it becomes a story for the gods. Okay, I think that is actually somehow tenable, but a little bit of explanation will not bite. Okay, Practical really says, if true, he is putting his own life in grave danger. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, Practical Realist, I don't understand this aspect of yours. Can you just throw more light in? Because prior to tonight's live stream, I was also thinking that if it is totally true that this young guy was able to discover electricity and to generate electricity from the stone, how sure are we that, the people I'm talking about, that the people that are behind the hydroelectricity generation in Nigeria and Africa will be interested in letting his work come to limelight because, number one, okay, I don't want to talk too much. I think at this point, I'm just thinking in my mind that, do I think that any nation who wants people to start generating their source of electricity from the stone in their backyard is just one of a question that is flying through my mind, because for you to say you can generate, maybe I should just try it from tomorrow. I should start looking for stone to generate electricity. And I'm sure in my country, we call them NEPA, National Electric Power Authority. They will not be welcoming such. They will not want such attempts that will reduce their inflow. Because, so, wow, my goodness, sorry for that. Because even the solar generation is something that some people are just thinking of, that is reducing the inflow of money going to the electricity department. That's what some people are just thinking. Because I remember the last time some people from the electricity company came over to say, why is it that you are not consuming light so much? You know, but we're like, if there is sun, so far it's sunny, except for period like this that is rainy, we use less of electricity from the power company, but we use the sun energy, which is a plus for Africa. And I think Africa should invest more in solar system of electricity generation. I don't know why I'm yawning. Please pardon me. I think I've not rested so much today. I've been engaged in a lot. So it's very funny to see a young chap like this that is talented, because give it to him. For a boy that did not attend the four walls of the school and is coming up with such developmental projects, I tell you, if it's a country that is full of dream and aspiration for his youth or our youth, that kind of a boy should be having a mentorship session from the government on how to go about the development of his talent. Wow, I'm sure. Okay, in case you're there and you want to join us live today, this is the link to our live stream. You can join us. Tonight's live stream is going to be a very short one, because as you can see, this young boy, this young man is yawning. He's yawning. It's about past midnight here in Africa, Nigeria. So you can join us via this link. Now let's ask ourselves: is it really possible to generate light, electricity from the stone? It is. Is it yes or no? Okay, I wouldn't know what to say, because I happen not to be a science student, but I know that in another country in Africa, it was discovered, electricity was discovered in some stones as well. Wow, we have Madam Nubimi here. Give it to you.
Hey,
Welcome, bud.
brother. I'm trying to keep you awake. I'm just kidding. No, I know you
See,
got to go to sleep. I said, man, he's so busy,
you
but you're
said,
sleepy. I said, I see you're so busy that you're sleepy, but that's
my
okay. You've
goodness.
been doing good work. So that's what it is. It's worth it.
Today was
But
very
I hope
okay.
realistic comes on. I hope that brother who's texting, or sister who's texting really great stuff, I hope they come on, because we definitely have to talk about the brain drain 2.0. You know, back in like when I was in high school or college, you know, there was a big thing talking about the brain drain, the brain drain. Do you remember? Does that sound familiar to
Yeah.
you? Yeah. So part Nigeria, India, Africa, Asia, they're a very big part of it in the 90s, you know,
Hmm.
80s and 90s, bigging up our technology. which is probably why, in a way, we probably have Silicon Valley and Facebook and all that, because the brain drain never ends, you know.
Mm.
And they're draining the brains from other countries, and the West kind of brings them in, and then it gets all acculturated and assimilated and all that. So I agree with you. That brain, there shouldn't be no brain drain. It should be brain strain, like straining, like not a bad way, but straining, like brewing up in Africa. We
Mm.
need brain train. That's what we need, brain training. Yeah.
You know the funniest stuff, I served in the northern part of Nigeria after my university days, and I came in contact with a young boy, with a young man several years ago. I have about 6, 7 years ago. I had seen the same guy on the TV, on the national TV. The news station were showcasing his talent. This guy constructed trucks, remote control trucks that it will be
Wow.
powering it, and my goodness, different types of heavy duty trucks and the likes. And I was so shocked that several years after that exposure on the national TV within the country, I met this guy physically at Nasarawa, where I served in the north. He was still moving around trying to showcase his work to numerous people. Meaning that what? They have not assisted him in any way at all.
Wow. No
You can,
funding, no support. Yeah, exactly. Wow.
so when I was talking with him, he was almost losing courage. In short, don't let me say almost losing courage. Yeah, it's like I'm introducing faith into it. In reality, the guy has lost faith. He was just like, maybe if somebody would just come. I was like, you know what? This is beautiful. This is fantastic. Then I didn't have a foundation. If I had a foundation, then we would have looked for how to help him. I was like, this is fantastic. This is beautiful. Well, you know what? This and this. I now told him what and what and what to do and likes. But it's painful because till date I lost contact with him. There was no way. This guy did a whole lot with remote control. He will push buttons, and you see these excavators. You see, oh my goodness, it was just
So
talent there.
hopefully we can find him again. Hopefully God connects for the educational part of it, even in training, hopefully we pray that someone's and come around that are similar. But see, sometimes I think in the States, sometimes they have grants and funding and scholarships for children and phenomenal ideas. At the
Mm.
end of the day, the companies just want to benefit from this. But I think Africa, countries like Nigeria particularly, are there philanthropic clubs that put money away so that they can provide scholarships, you know what I mean, on a national level, to students that are brilliant? And I'm sure, I hope there's programs like that. And if not, there should be more programs. If there's just a few, just, especially for people who have money, it's imperative that they put the money back into the community and have scholarships and fellowships like His Majesty did. He did that with a lot of
Yeah.
students, you know?
Anyway, in Nigeria, for real, they have some people that are trying, some philanthropists that are trying, but they are just few out of 200 and something million plus population. So what can the few do? But we have no cause to worry, because that is why the Cetros Foundation is here. We are growing up into that. That will be, and with a vision to help as many that will come in. And we're also sensitizing our youth on how to be a philanthropical in
Philanthropic.
mindset and in mindset and the like, so that as they grow, they should also look at how to give back. So I think by the time we have more people with the mindset of giving back to the society, such a boy with that beautiful talent should not be left to suffer. But if you are there, maybe you are coming across this video and you by chance know this particular boy, because this boy was popular about several years ago, was popular. He constructed numerous uh, heavy duty trucks and the likes, and was looking for help. If you are there, maybe you are in Nasarawa. Is a pity that I'm from the western part of Nigeria, and based on what is the security challenge in the north, I don't see myself traveling to the north in the next God knows when, uh, because I have to be alive to continue with the foundation
Mm-hmm.
work. So, but if you are based in Nasarawa, there is that young boy. Is I think he's from Nasarawa. There's that young boy that is into that. Please, if you know his whereabouts, kindly reach out to Ross on this channel, or send a mail to us at cetrosfoundation@gmail.com. We'll see what we can do, because that boy's talent needs to be harnessed for the continent, not exported just like the way we usually export the best brain amidst us in Africa to go and develop the rest of the world. And whatever they have developed in the rest of the world, we now end up to be consuming it at an higher price. Let me shock you. Let me just divert a little bit. Can you beat the fact that the first thing our Nigerian president that was just sworn in did was what? Removal of subsidy.
What? Subsidies, living subsidies?
Petroleum subsidy. He removed the petroleum subsidy, and a lot of people have been asking the question, is it a good move? Is it a bad move? But I look at it this way. What is subsidy? Subsidy is anything that will cushion the effect, the adverse effect on the populace, on the people. But the subsidy in Nigeria has been helping the rich to get richer at the expense of the poor. And as such, how can Nigeria be subsidizing for other countries, other neighboring countries? Because the people that are importing the fuel, they import to other parts of, they import into Nigeria, and they take the fuel that has been imported into Nigeria, that has been subsidized, they now begin to carry it out of the country to sell to neighboring countries at exorbitant prices. So it's more of a fraud, which brings us back to the fact that the same thing can, if we are not very cautious of what we are doing, we might be paying dearly for exporting these talents that have been developed within the continent of Africa. Excuse me. If there is no proper structure on ground, if there is no openness of the market environment or the monitoring system in place, we might be sending more of our youth outside the continent looking for greener pasture, whereas this is where the greener pasture is. This is Eden, in case you don't know, because this is the land of the Israelites, the land of the black Jews.
That's right.
Okay.
Exactly. This is where we're gonna get blessed. And again, it's brain drain after brain drain. I mean, like when I say that, it's like, if we even go back to 1492, throughout the slave trade, let's just say, I mean, we already know that bodies and resources and the people that were building the society was kidnapped. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's it.
14, it's like, so this is like the same thing, so we're dealing with that. Go ahead, you were saying something that, yeah, Dale, it's like, it's the same brain drain, by force, by hook, by crook, by dollars, by, we have to keep that at home. Yeah, bro, there's hope. I also I hope that we can introduce the children to grant writing, from Setros Foundation. I know you guys are great writers, and I think that's a very important thing for us to teach the students, grant writing. So we have a partner, and I definitely want to connect you guys with that. But that is going to be very important, because I really feel that the philanthropy, maybe coming from African Americans or family from the diaspora.
Wow.
If it has to be that way, we're gonna have to set up foundational stuff and scholarships for the ones at home on the continent from us who are here abroad. So grant writing and writing these things, because there's still funding. There's money in different, I think, in different political arenas, but we're not getting to them because people want to be greedy. For instance, I have a situation here. We do community outreach and skills development. That happens here, even in the Black community. There was a grant, and the people that said, told us in different communities, and literally the African American center didn't even tell anyone. It actually had to be someone in the center to call us and say, hey, you know what, there's this money here. So it's good, whether it's States or Africa, but we can't replicate that greed back at home in Africa. That's what that greed and the unintegral, mode of operation. That's what I think is very important. That we have to stick with the integrity and the innovation at home.
Yeah, very, very true. I was about saying the same thing because grants, getting grant is not the hotmost thing. It's very important, but how many lives are the grants that are gotten? How many lives are being transformed at the end of the day? So that borders on integrity of the people, both parties now, both those giving the grants and those collecting the grants, so that at the end of the day, it's not just we are using our ear to hear the large amount of billions of dollars or millions of dollars, whereas no life is being transformed. And as I move from place to place to assist in the community, to assist youth, I discover, and I was beginning to ask myself several questions. Do you know that some communities that I went to train 5 people, to pay for the training of 5 to 10 persons, it might not be even up to, depending on the particular lesson, the particular skill they want to learn, it might not even be up to $500 to train between 5 to 10 to, sometimes you can even train. There was a particular village I went to, we trained about 6 fashion designers, or about 4 fashion designers with less than, how much was it? Everything with less than $50.
Wow.
Yes.
It's $6
About-
for $50.
Yes. I'm talking about, that was a particular village. We spent less than $50 to train about, I've forgotten the number of youths now that were into fashion. They just needed to be trained in fashion. And they say, I asked how much are we to pay for their training? And when I heard the amount, I was like, are you going to give us a discount? I just used my other sense. I said, are you going to give us a discount? They said, oh, this is the lowest discount they can take. And I was like, what? Bring your account. I paid immediately because
Exactly.
it
Worth
was
it.
so minute. It was so insignificant. In short, I just like, wow. And they were so happy. So when we hear of grants, uh, absolutely, our foundation has never gotten any grants to support our youth from any bodies outside or inside Nigeria. But with the little contributions our friends and subscribers, followers like this have made, we've been able to assist a lot of youths, and we are proud about that. Why are we doing that? To prevent this brain drain, to prevent these youths that have talent. And you can imagine this young guy, if I'm able to establish contact with this young guy, the first thing is I want to verify the whole story to see what can be done to help this young guy to the next level. So, but to do that, you might discover that the government also need to come in to assist, because you are talking about electricity generation here and the like. So the government the government is highly needed to be part and parcel of the program, so that they can say, oh, okay, this is how to go about it. This is what and what can be used. You can imagine if there is a special stone that is generating electricity in my own country and I'm not aware of, and this guy has been able to identify it. I think kudos should be given to that guy. Some level of royalty can also be ascribed to the guy and his family for discovering that, and they now guide them on how to go about having alternative source of energy. I think that's how life should just be done. It's not that these youth are just discovering, and after discovering, nobody is coming to help. Then somebody from Switzerland just discovered.
Just a team. Yeah, once you discover that, you get a team of like-minded and work on we work on a project. That just makes sense. We mobilize the community in supporting, one's talents, just like in the movies. A lot of people see the movies and you see the actors and the films, you see the titles, but in the two main actors, there's a whole team behind the actors. Just a minuscule thing to make a script come alive. A writer thought about this, then he wrote it out, and then he got a director and he got the producer, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that had happened before they chose the actor. So so there's so much supportive that ones who have that talent, that we need to be supporting them too. Just they are the stars in this new renewable energy, because as we're moving into the next generation, the last thing we want to do is impose, especially for people who's coming to Africa, impose our Western way or our American way on different parts of Africa that we go to. We want this organic innovation, raw talent, you know what I mean? Not polluted talent. I'm not saying that we're all polluted here, but part of us here, we have to work on washing our brain. We have to get brainwashed, literally clean our brain from all this madness here before we go back to the continent.
So true, so true. And that's where the proper reintegration back into motherland should be a course that all of you should take before coming back, because you need to be reoriented on how the motherland now is and how to relate and how to go about doing your thing, so that you sink easily. And just remember this, that for every youth that has talent in Africa that we refuse to support to achieve their dream, we are only increasing the number of youths that will be carrying their bag and toothbrush, crossing the Mediterranean Sea to go and die. So you are as guilty as those dying in the Mediterranean Sea. If you have any source of help you can render to this youth and you decide to shut your door, it's going to be a very painful one, because that was exactly what happened several years ago. I think I did a documentary about it, where they were selling our strong, able youth for just a piece of umbrella, a piece of glass, a piece of whatever whiskey, gin that they were bringing. But today, they are not even forcing any of them again. The only thing they are doing is what? They destabilize our economy. They make the economy hot for these youths. And these youths will now pay for them to be captured. How do they pay? They pay for visa. They go and say, you know what, tax master, please grant me visa, opportunity to come to the slave yard. And that's what they are doing day by day, because they are getting fed up, because you are in a continent that nobody is ready to support this youth. I think it will not be a bad idea if you're a business owner and the likes, and just like you are paying taxes to the government, you create a cost. You create a cost line where you'll be warehousing money to assist talent raw talent around your locality. And
Education tide, like an educational tide, it would bless you. You will be blessed
wow,
just from the universe. It would be a bless. I really think that, like you're saying, even small businesses should just put 10% away and just, or small percentage away for the youth
yeah.
philanthropy, because because I want everyone to know. I mean, here in the States, it's, yeah, whatever. It's convenient. It's
Mm,
expensive. I don't know if
mm,
anybody's ever been to Las Vegas, Nevada, right? You don't want to be get stuck in Las. It's a gambling place, right? And I've seen
mm,
people. I've lived in Las Vegas. I've seen people come to Vegas and they're arguing. They're crying. They're at the hotel floor talking about, I lost everything. I gave my my deed up. I've seen people crying. I've seen people working and turning their checks over and just going straight to the casino and just cashing in and not getting anything at all. So,
mm,
as a child of first immigrant, first generation American, I can say that that is kind of like the what I hear from my aunties, from my mom, from my uncles, even from my friends, whether they can come from the Philippines or from Africa. They're like, wow, I put all this time and money and effort in here, and I'm coming out with nothing. Now, I'm
mm,
not saying that's for everybody, but even people who had something, they're still coming out with less. You're still paying the house. You
mm.
still end up paying the house. So you might as well stay in your house. Come to the casino, America, on a business visa, on other visas. I have people who are Haitian business people. They don't even think about. They're not even thinking about a green card. They're like, no, no, no. I'm just coming here for my business visa. Get in and get out. And they have so much power because they're not interested in the becoming part of the society, but they will work that society in their businesses. So people, young people, you want to come to the States? Well, let's work on business and say, I'm coming on a business visa. I'm here to get in and get out, or you know what I mean? Um, or other things, you know what I'm saying? If you can get for school, great. But don't get caught up in here. Not unless you really have a plan, and plan to save that and then help Africa, especially those who want to come out here. If you come out here and you want to, America is your vision, please put that money away to pay back to Nigeria, because at the end of the day, you're going to be paying a lot. In the States, you pay a lot of money. You got to pay to play. And the most important thing people don't do is pay attention.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Just saying.
You- that's wonderful. You pay to play, then people don't pay attention, meaning that you are paying the wrong dues. You are supposed to pay attention. You have to pay. You can imagine. You need to pay. Failure to pay attention will make you to pay before you
Exactly.
can play.
Exactly.
I'm seeing those words as very, very, very uh, down to earth explanation of people's encounter. The other day I saw a lady that was crying seriously. I think she just sold her prop. They were living comfortably here in Nigeria, and they just sold their property. They even got more loans because she and her husband and the children, they wanted to just move. They wanted to leave Nigeria and the likes. They want to leave Africa. Now they did not know that what they did not pay attention to was waiting for them to destroy whatever plan they have there. Or to cut the long story short, they got over there after getting loans from here, and they promised to pay those people at specific time, with the calculation that, oh, once they just get to the UK, everything is land of milk and honey, only to get there and they discovered that it was another payment they needed to make, which was out of their plan. It destabilized the whole family, and I can tell you,
Yes.
the last time I checked, I don't think they've recovered from it. So how will you live the life like that? People that are in Nigeria, they are busy calling for their money. They are stressed. They couldn't pay attention to school that they went for there. So all those kind of stuff are avoidable, and I'm shocked.
You think it's milk and honey, and it's actually powdered milk and corn syrup. Okay, y'all. America is the milk and honey. Okay.
I I have an older friend, a woman, that will always say, you know what do you want to come and do here? She herself is outside the country. She's in a particular country, and she will say, what do you want to come and do here? That there is nothing here. Look at whatever you are seeing that they are showing here. You guys have it there. And she talked to me to the extent that I was just laughing that I have no interest of moving to another country to go and stay outside Africa. Because if I had that intention, I would have done that while I was at the bank. During my banking days, I would have planned that. But surprisingly, I had like about two friends, several family members calling me that, oh, you know what, why not how do they used to call it, why not migrate to Canada? I was like, you want me to leave this peaceful, as in this environmental friendly atmosphere in Nigeria, and pack my children and my wife to go and stay in the freezer in Canada that is as cold as my deep freezer?
Exactly.
They started laughing. So I said, oh, so do you want me to carry my children, all of us? So who will now be doing the foundation? What will happen to all the youths? What will happen to, no, don't worry. If you are not doing it, another person. I said, wow. So what will happen to my own life? I will now get there and start looking for how to pay bills, how to work myself out to pay bills. Whereas they move me, to Canada like a cargo. Possibly the province they are going to put Africans in are the province or places that their own citizen might not consider interesting to them. I don't want such.
Yes.
I don't want.
There's two roads. There's government housing or homelessness. And I understand, like that's sometimes what happens. Like, for instance, my picture right there, the painting right there, that's my uncle's painting, that's my uncle's painting. And he's a phenomenal artist. His name is Joseph Yvon Mark. And he used to be the curator of the National Haitian Museum, right?
Wow.
Now, things happen in Haiti. The infrastructure and everything gets crazy and upside down. But, he came to the States, he lived with us. And then there was a time where the States was kicking everybody out and arresting people. So my uncle had to go to Canada. And it was hard. It was so hard for so many years. And it is still hard for him. And he had to do new skills. He had to surplus labor. He had to work at Walmart. He had to work as a nursing assistant. And, every so often he's just like, wow, I just really miss painting, because that's what he was gifted as. Luckily, we have a lot of his art and works, but he's right now enslaving, and then the whole social economic, because you lose your children here. You literally will lose your children to the society. It's no joke, people. It is not a joke. You got to be strong and tough, and you know what I'm saying? Like, if you really want to come to pay and play here, but if you got to focus, even doctors who come here from, let's say you have a doctor's degree or something, a great degree in your country, you come here, you have to start all over. You're not going to go back. You're going to start all over. So all the accreditation, all the stuff that you worked at home, you might as well just chuck it away. Because I've never, I haven't seen anything yet. I'm not saying there's no success stories, but all the immigrants that I know here, at the end of the day, all of our parents and all of us as older people, like, how are we going to get our moms back home? They don't want to stay here. They don't want to die here in America. How are our parents going to get back home? And, I just see my aunts, and they're just like, ugh, and they came out here as young people, 20 years old, and now they're 70. And they're like, oh, if I can just get back home, if I can, I wish my country could be together. But there's hope again. The hope is the students. The hope is the youth. The hope is the grandchildren. The hope is us right now, guys. The hope is the African diaspora. world round. We have to help each other. Period. Period.
Wow. So painful to think about and to talk about, because when you look at these youths that are running out of the continent in mass, majority of them, they have talent, they have skills that they are dropping for the menial job in some of this western world. Just like this one you mentioned, when you mentioned that you mean he actually left this art to go and be doing a nursing assistant and the likes? Someone that has a beautiful talent. I'm looking at his artwork here.
Yes. And you know what? When he was in New Mexico, he was doing art shows, and he was actually in a lot of films. Like, he was really in a lot of movie films, and that was going to, we were hoping that that would kind of help him get into that area. But like I said, in 2000 or 2004, America went through some weird thing, and they were just arresting everybody. And my
Mm,
uncle was just scared, so he migrated. He didn't want to be stuck in an American jail, so he went to, and it wasn't like it wasn't like he could get into the industry, the film industry, or he just kind of had to start from ground up, bro, just ground up. He's still doing his artwork, and I still think, but again, it was it was tough. It was depressed for a long time. I don't think nothing can be like Haiti. Everybody wants to be at home, but you just have
mm,
to, like Egypt. Like when we talk about Exodus,
mm,
and like Moses said, let my people go. It's because when we think about slavery, they were slaves. They were workers. They were in the system. They were in the Egyptian system. Whether you want to say they're building bricks or being at the 7-Eleven 24 hours a day. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Regardless, they were still servants and just like, ugh, just beat down in the system. So again, I think there are people who are successful here, and those who have success stories and making $200,000, $100,000, because there are people here who are very successful, who are immigrants. Now, the problem is, stop trying to keep up with the lifestyle. Live simple and put some donation money away for wherever you come from, whether Africa, the Caribbean, or Haiti. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses, because the Joneses are all consumers. All they do is consume. So let's come here and produce, not consume.
So true. So true, because, and especially, Africans, we have this mentality of everything you want to do must come big. We love the big houses that you will never occupy fully. We love the big cars that to have a U-turn in case of an emergency will be as hard as hell. You want in short, we just want everything big. But despite that, we should be forward thinking. We now know that unnecessary clutters around our life should be dumped for something that is worth investing into. And there is nothing as worth in your investment as investing in the life of people, in the life of the community around you. Because when you are down, when the chip is down, it is your investment. It is your investment in people. It is your investment in businesses that will come to your aid, not the amount that you've expended on recurrent expenditures and the likes. And for those youth that are going into numerous craft and the likes, that are talented in numerous fields, please don't lose hope. Stay on, because your help is coming sooner. Just keep on trying and hoping for the best, and the best is around the corner. So there is something that will be coming up. I wouldn't. I'll be updating us maybe 2 weeks from now, that we plan doing for some youths in Africa that will really change whatever they are going to. So the flyer is going to be out in 2 weeks' time. We're going to publish it, because it's really going to help a lot of youth, because presently a lot of youth are disappointed with what is going on in their community, especially those from Nigeria. So many of them has done what we call, they now have an acronym that they have a word that they've crafted out for this. They call it Jackpa syndrome. Jackpa means they are running away from their homeland, thinking that there is a better option for them. But a lot of people ran out of Nigeria thinking that by now the election is going to lead into chaos, war, and the likes. But we are glad that we are still alive. We stayed, we didn't run nowhere. The election has come and gone. The new president has been installed, and nothing bad has happened. So, wherever you are,
Praises the Most High.
wherever you are, just know that it's all about your mindset to make things work for you. Keep on doing what you know that is the best. Reduce unnecessary costs, reduce unnecessary influence around your life. Watch what you are doing and just play it safe, because the greener pasture that you know is better than the one that you think you are going into. So, no be me. Hello, no be me.
I was drinking some water, and then I start choking. No, what I was
Oh,
thinking, what you
sorry
always.
about that.
I think the next generation is problem solving, solution based, critical thinking, communication.
Mm,
And then
mm,
green is gold. Why I say green is gold? Meaning, start the recycling now. Start separating. Start composting. Start, separating garbage and start reusing, reducing, and not abusing. So,
mm.
like, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well.
Okay. Yeah, one of my teachers used to say, everyone is there to be used. And he
Mm,
paused and he said, utilize. In other words, everybody has a gift to be utilized. As long as we don't misuse, confuse, and abuse,
mm.
everything else will be good.
Wow. Wow.
Use
So,
talents for good, people.
with that being said, let me just talk about a particular girl, one of the youths that we discussed with, I think yesterday or so, the day before yesterday. This youth was one of those that we assisted to bring on board during one of during our first fashion show presentation. And when she was speaking with me, she told me, she said, that she has taken her business to the next level prior to higher than where she was before she met us the other time, but she's looking for something higher and greater. What's she into? She's into wigs, she's into hair, what do they call them, uh, ladies that makes wigs. She deals with wigs, hair, human hair, Italian hair, whatever names they call it, and the likes. So when I was speaking with the girl, you know what she told me? She said she wants to host her own business show. I think sometime this June, and she was begging us to come and assist her. I was so happy because this is the period that a lot of youths like her are running out of the continent. The little that they've gotten in their hand, they are using it to run out of the continent to go and start a supposedly fresh life outside there. But when they get out there, the reality now dawns on them. They discover that they must now go into nursing. Majority of them are not even in the sciences. They now have to go into nursing just to take care of old people and the likes, because that's where they feel money is. Some have even turned to workers in Kingston Joe or this popular restaurant that you guys have there. So, but this is a girl that has moved her business to the next level, and she's not even satisfied. She wants to go more. So those are the kind of story maybe in a few weeks' time,
Yes.
we'll be bringing her live. Those are the kind of stories we should be hearing about African youth, not the one that they are they are embarking on the deadly voyage. So, what's your thoughts about such kind of girl?
Well, I just think that, like you said, it's in that youthful energy that beautiful thoughts are coming, and it's better to use your energy where it can be utilized better. Because a lot of the times they go out and they waste a lot of time and energy, and there's a lot of backtracking. So I think I was going to say that God does, like, even when you look at the scriptures, Daniel, Mary, Samuel, Joshua, all these were young people who are making it happen, and God blesses them and gives them these ideas. I think that is what we need to preserve them, keep them precious so they're not jagged, they're not, abused. So I am very proud that she wants to do this showcase where it would not be a her, but it'd be a lot of others. I can just hear it in her spirit, not to just showcase herself, but that's showcasing fashion, art, makeup, networking. A lot of what's really important is this networking amongst the youth, and with elders who have a good vision for them, who can guide them towards the way, not elders who are trying to take advantage of them. So yes, very important that the youth continue these. I think that's a great to support those things, those what they call expos. You know what I'm saying? Expositions. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Such a great networking opportunity, and the youth must network amongst themselves. Whatever, like, as a youth, I can tell you guys one thing. Whenever I was approached with a certain thing, you can go to door A or door B, and neither of them were very comfortable. The Most High just gave me door C, and visually, he gave me a sword, like a big, them, you know what I mean? And I envisioned putting my own door in there. You know what I'm saying? Those big, like, saw things. You open up, you make your own wall. So young ones, if it's either A or B and it's not fitting for you, then you go see yourself another door, and through faith and hard work and networking with like-minded individuals, team players. If there's a player everybody got to play, and team playing, we all celebrate everyone's victory together. It ain't no hateration. We come together. We support each other. So, there's friendly competition, but there's no hateration. It's for us to big each other up. So yes, teens, see yourself. You are the future, and you are the only ones who are going to help us not for Africa not to be abused by other foreign entities who are coming in like swarms. I don't need to say which entities and other cultures, but they're culture vultures out there, and you need to stay strong because you guys, Africa has the largest youth population in the world. Do you know what the human resources, how much that is in value? And stay home and be strong. Work it out, critical thinking, and stay in the Most High Yahweh Elohim Yeshua HaMashiach. He's got us.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so very much. I think we've done justice to today's topic, which is talking about the discovery by this young chap, how he discovered electricity in the stone, and we now use it to talk about our youth that are following the path of brain drain, and also calling on people that are well to do within the continent of Africa, calling on small, medium scale business enterprises within the continent of Africa to please rise up so that we can assist these youths that have developed talents and skills in one area or the other, so that we can support their business drive to prevent them from running out of the continent, because that's the only way you can keep these youths within the continent is to get them economically empowered and properly engaged in their raw talent. Because what we saw in that video was a display of raw talent. A youth that has not gone to the university, that has not been to the four walls of the school, creating electricity or generating electricity via a stone. I think that is highly commendable. While we are celebrating that, I also have this caution: Africans, always develop your talent to the fullest capacity before we loud it to the rest of the world. Because when it's still in raw form, I discovered that what actually happened is that the next day you've gotten one Western company that lands on your shore, on the shore of Africa, and pick up these youths, and we never see them again. They pick them up, they use them to develop their own space there, whereas where the talent and the knowledge is coming out from. I just remember something now.
Exactly, just like the slave trade, because black slaves built America. Black slaves built the Americas, period. Okay, but especially here in the United States, North America, yes. So yeah, they just give us truth. They come steal them and leave trinkets like mirrors and don't forget, guys, that those trinkets and them beads that they gave our ancestors when they stole us the first time, it's nothing different than what they're giving you right now.
Now,
Kennedy,
okay,
mirror.
Madam
Big up,
Claudia,
Claudia. Love you.
greeting all of us. Greetings, everyone. Central Foundation is forever blessed. Amen. Thank you so very much, Madam Claudia. Now, Nubimi, do you know why I'm laughing? I want to ask you this question. It just flashed through my mind that majority of what the Western world or the Western country are using to develop the numerous products that they are developing, they do not have access to those raw materials in their own country. And I was just asking myself, could it be possible that you develop what you do not have raw materials for from scratch?
Exactly. Could it be developed there at home, right?
I want you to understand my question. You do not have raw material to develop something, and there is a continent that has the raw materials to develop those things. Now think, is it possible to develop a product that you do not have natural resources for? Because for you to develop something,
No, not at all.
for you to develop something, you must come in contact with the raw materials that will be used to develop or produce those things. So I'm beginning, my brain is beginning to boot to say that this brain drain has been from ages.
Yeah.
Ages. Because you imagine, it's very, very possible that majority of what is being produced outside the continent of Africa today, including the laptops, might actually be from Africa.
Yes, the rocks and the minerals and whatever technology you're going to say, because even agriculture, again, we're talking, let's look the Atlantic slave trade or the Ethiopic slave trade. Agriculture was a technology that they pulled up from the slaves to come to the Americas to make their sugar cane, to make their peanuts, to make their bananas. And again, what do we have here? We didn't even do like a variety of foods. No, we stuck with a certain amount of foods. Now we're nutritionally deficient. The earth is all jacked up because The West will take something and just, it's insatiable. They just gotta have to use it up and, use it and throw it away. So we're even dealing with how much heirloom type of food that we used to have back in like 100 years ago. We don't even have different type of corns, different type of grains, because they'll focus on one and then mass produce, mass produce, mass produce, killing other varieties, which then kills us. So we are not to replicate the West by any means necessary. Not at all. Sustaining, maintaining is what's important in Africa. And Africa is the breadbasket.
Wow. Okay. I think we've made our point this night. By way of summary, I just want everyone that will be seeing this video to think about this. You cannot develop what you do not have access to. Let me put it in another way. You cannot develop products that you do not have access to the raw materials. So majority of the products we are celebrating in the world today, if we carefully make our findings, you will discover that it was first discovered by Africans either living in Africa or migrated out of Africa. Why? Because they must have been in contact with the resources that will be used in producing whatever invention that is claimed. But how many of the Africans, how many of our African brothers are being recognized for pioneering the discovery of the world's technological equipment and the likes? I can tell you the ratio is very, very small. It's even up now that facts and figures are now beginning to show that, oh, this particular product that, this particular invention rather, sorry for using product, this particular invention that was mentioned that somebody discovered or produced, was the inventor, was actually originally discovered or invented by a black lady or a black man. When I mean that, sorry for using that word black again, African, either within or outside the continent. So I think for our youths that are discovering new technologies, new way of doing things, please calm down. Try to develop your technology. Try to develop your discoveries to the fullest before you start noising it around, and don't be carried away that some Western countries are coming to pick you out to go and be creating it outside there. You can partner with the Western world. Let them set up your factories here in Africa. I think that will make more sense.
Production, yeah.
Yes.
Like
Not
Sister Claudia said, resources. The human resources, the production, and natural resources. It just makes sense. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
no,
off. Yes.
what you are saying is very clear.
Assuming. Interestingly, I thought my husband told me that now people can research it. He told me that Starbucks was trying to sue Ethiopia, an Ethiopian company that the logo that looks similar to theirs, but but then the courts in Ethiopia, now ones can just can research this. The courts in Ethiopia denied the Starbucks claim and said, "Well, we're Ethiopian. We invented coffee anyway, so your claim is invalid." So we got to look at Ethiopia and be like, we invented this. What do you talk about? No, we're not going to accept your international suing this company because the logo may look the same or something like that. So We got to be like that. We need to produce it, claim it, and for the next millennium, for this coming generation, produce, not consume.
Wow. Well, Claudia says, good night, Setro, and go to bed. We will talk to you
Yes,
next.
go to bed, bro.
Good night,
We
Nibi.
know you've
Love
been
you.
working really hard and we appreciate that. So go to bed, my brother. Thank you for listening, and thank you everyone who's listening, and thank you for your future donations. You know,
Wow.
let's make an investment in the future.
Yes, please. At your spare time, in case you are seeing this video after now, at your spare time, just go to see part of what we've done or what we are doing in the youth world in Africa. Head over to Cetros Foundation. I hope I spelled it right. Cetros Found. You can imagine I'm sleeping.
Oh yes, he spelled it wrong, people. But good. While he types that, thank you everyone. Thank you, Sister Claudia, and all the ones who support Cetros Foundation for your past, your present, and future contribution. And ones get on, help get on, help yourself. You know, make a difference.
Okay, please head on to cetrosfoundation.com to see what we are doing. And if you feel convinced about what we are doing to train numerous African youths in numerous numerous
Skills and educational basis. So yes, this brother has to learn to go to sleep. Sunday is his busiest
no,
day.
really, have you been this slippery before? That
Yes, where you're just like you feel like you had a cup of wine, a mug of wine. You're like, what's going on here? That's okay, bro. You need to go to sleep. You work
oh
really
my goodness.
and it's hot. Everyone, good night.
Good night, everyone. See
Yeshua
you next week.
blessing you. Yahweh Elohim, make it happen. Rastafari, go get some rest, my friend. Okay. Blessings.
Good night.
Bonne nuit.